Welcome to the Daily Grind, a Bluff City Media daily podcast. Stepping up to the microphone is your host, Luke Hatmaker. Grab your favorite morning brew and let's get to the show.
La 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 bamba, la 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 bamba, dee dee doo doo be doo doo doo. I don't know the words. Welcome to the Daily Grind. I am your host, Luke Hatmaker. It's Tuesday morning, and shout out everybody in the comments already. I appreciate everybody. Wayno, King Meeks, good morning, friends, and good morning to my guy Rusty. How are you, brother? You good?
Morning, Luke. I'm good, man. It's a beautiful day here in sunny Memphis, Tennessee. I see King Meeks jumping on the pun on the joke train here. But Luke, I do have a question for you before the show starts. Does music ever make you wonder? I mean, it made Stevie wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go to the Daily Grind.
Yes. I was like, do I answer? I don't think I answered. There's got to be a great pun here. Oh my God. I love Stevie Wonder.
I do too. We're pro Stevie Wonder on the show.
Yeah, this is a pro Stevie Wonder pod. If you're watching, Stevie, hop on. King Meeks had me.
Is he watching?
Back to the show. King Meeks had me covered with the pun yesterday because you weren't here. It was great. Let's just dive right into it, brother. We have a finals game that is set. It is set, man, and we have the Indiana Pacers facing the Oklahoma City Thunder. Not until this Thursday. It'll be 8:30, I believe, is when tip-off is. Yeah, 8:30 Thursday, June 5th. This is going to be a finals of two small market teams. The Paul George finals I saw in the comments section. Let's start there. Do you want to start with how both these teams had Paul George and both made teams to trade Paul George to build their current rosters?
Absolutely, because most of these guys were involved in a Paul George trade, right? You got SGA, the current NBA MVP, who was brought over when Oklahoma City shipped Paul George out to the Clippers in that massive haul. A lot of the picks and trade fodder of him leaving Indiana are still on this team. You know, I think Siakam was a part of that trade. I believe, I think that was part of that 3-team trade to get him out to Oklahoma City, maybe. But like these teams are constructed in the wake of Paul George, which is interesting because Paul George himself has never been to the NBA Finals.
Man, it's so funny how like a guy in Paul George that I think many teams have made the move for. I would say that all the teams that acquired Paul George from these teams, they acquired him with the hopes that they would make a finals run. You know, I think everybody that's traded for Paul George is like, we need him to be a part of our core to get to the finals. And that's just not been the case.
It's not. You know, he calls himself playoff P, but, you know, it's like maybe play fall off P, maybe is what it would be. Fall off P, maybe, because he's not been a playoff riser. He's never played well in the playoffs. He's never been in really high leverage playoff situations. I don't know that his teams have ever really truly made it out of the second round. And I'm in a lot of Grizzlies group chats. And in one of them, just a couple of weeks ago, we were discussing about how we should trade Desmond Bane for one Paul George. And I had to hurt some feelings because if you look at their regular season and playoff stats, Desmond Bane has better true shooting percentage, 3-point percentage, field goal percentage. Everything is better than one Paul George. But I digress. Again, the idea, and this is how I'll wrap this up. So I had wrapped up that argument. The idea of Paul George, the Paul George theory, if you will, is fantastic basketball. Yeah. The Paul George product, maybe not so much. And that's why his two former teams are now in the NBA Finals without him.
Yep. I mean, and it's a very good point. The idea of Paul George is something that I think
30 NBA player.
Yeah, including the team that he's on. They would love the idea of Paul George, but he's just not that guy more often than not, unfortunately.
I mean, it's like being a Tennessee Vols fan, right? Like it feels like 98 every year, right? You can talk yourself into Paul George carrying you to the finish line until Paul George actually plays, falls apart in the playoffs, gets hurt. You know, I think he's played like 40 games over the last couple of 2 seasons. I mean, God bless the guy. He's had some injury bad luck. Remember that nasty broken leg he had for USA Basketball. I just you hate it because he seems, all intents and purposes, seems like a great guy. But in the wake of his departure, his two teams are now playing in the NBA Finals. One of the best offenses, one of the best defenses, two teams that play with a ton of pace. I think Thursday night is going to be a barn burner.
Yeah, I don't even have to transition because I got you here. It is going to be, we're talking about two teams that play with immense pace. We're talking about one team who in Oklahoma City who's specializes they specialize in forcing turnovers. It's what they do. That's what they've done all season. And then you've got the Pacers who don't really turn the ball over that much. They can't take care of the ball. Mm-hmm. If there's a team that is, I don't know if any team is well equipped to beat this Thunder team because they're really good. If there's a team that I think could give them a run for their money and a coach give them a run for their money, it's going to be this Pacers team.
It feels like it, right? Because you're right. Oklahoma City is mostly plus defenders. The Pacers maybe have four, maybe five, not Hallie, but there's a good chunk, with Siakam, Miles Turner, Mathurin, Nembhard. Those are great defenders. Oklahoma City is the deepest team we've seen in the NBA in a long time. You talk about true depth, the Grizzlies like to hang our hat on our depth. Oklahoma City has legit contending depth. And what's nice is the Pacers do as well because they play at such a high pace. They end up playing 8-9 guys more often than others. And these 8-9 guys can play really well, right? These guys are again playing with house money. As a friend of mine who's a Pacers fan here in Memphis, shout out Zach, said, "Hey, just playing with house money. We're having fun, right? At this point, nobody expected us to be here. We weren't supposed to be here. Those teams are the most dangerous, as Ole Miss learned last night by losing to Murray State in their home regional. Had to plug that in there somewhere. Go Racers! We are all Murray State fans today.
That's awesome. Poor Uncle Buck. I do see. Good morning, Jalen. I see Pacers in 7. That's what I hope for. I would love that. Can you imagine? That's what I really, really hope happens.
Same. But what I think is going to happen is Oklahoma City in 5 or 6.
You think they're going to win?
I think the Pacers. Yeah, I think the Pacers can take a game. I think the Pacers can keep these games competitive. I don't know that we see a 30 or 40 point blowout win by Oklahoma City, but man, I have to take my hater shades off because I do hate Oklahoma City with a fiery passion. Yeah. But if you watch this team, and that is a tough team, top to bottom, both ends of the floor. They play relentless defense, and like they were talking about on the Anthony Sain show yesterday. Shout out Sain and Kenny. They just foul the hell out of the other team and say, you know what, you can't call them all, right? You can't call every foul down the floor. And so they're following in that grit and grind mold where we used to bully people and beat up people for 4 quarters and wear them down. That's exactly what Oklahoma City does, is they're going to be physical with you. They're going to take some fouls, but they know that the rest aren't going to call them all. And so they're super, super physical. And a physical team like that, Indiana's physical. They out-physicaled the Knicks for sure. I think this is going to be a good schoolyard kind of fight. But I just think Oklahoma City has too much good depth. And I think, again, even if it's a gentleman's sweep, I don't think they win games by more than 10, 12 points.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be looking at how, got the 4 seed, got the 1 seed. Both teams are 12-4 this playoffs, which I find interesting.
It is interesting.
The OKC's 8-1, 8 at home. 8-1. Yeah,
8-1 at home. 1 loss to be into Denver at home.
That's right. And then the Pacers are 6-2. Points per game. Pacers are 117.4. OKC's 117.1. It's when you get to defense where it's a little different. Opponents' points per game is 113.3 for the Pacers, 106.3 for the Thunder.
Yeah.
The Thunder had one close game in that last series. Every other game they won by. I got it right in front of me. They won 114-88, 118-103, 126-128, 124-9. They won by 30 every game they won, except the one game when they won by 2. When they broke Minnesota, the closest game Minnesota had. It's just, I don't know, man.
Yeah, this Thunder team, you got to take your hater shades off because they are. I know, but this team lost 14 games and 82 tries in the regular season. They compete their asses off. They play hard. They got a bunch of guys who are tenacious, and it makes me angry too. I'm not sitting here. I'm blowing smoke about OKC because I'm being a realist, and I'm watching it with my own 2 eyes. And we're gonna see Indiana is the Pacers was a great college team. They play really fundamentally sound basketball. They're not going to beat themselves, but I just don't know that they have enough dogs to be able to compete with the Thunder. And I think the Thunder finally break the mold of the experienced vet heavy teams win the finals. And we get our first true young, small market core winning an NBA finals.
Man, either way, this finals will bode well for small market teams. Either way, that is a plus. I think there's a graphic making its way around the web that's like a map of the US, and it's like people rooting for OKC, and the entire country is blue and Indiana is yellow. But then I saw someone say fixed it and Memphis is yellow, and I was like, yeah, because I completely agree. It's like I will be rooting for Indiana in every single one of these games, but I know that it's probably fool's gold. I mean, not fool's gold. It's just probably everything. You've seen this Thunder team in person. Parrish has seen them in person. I think Uncle Buck saw them in person. Every person I have spoken to who has seen them play in person, first thing I asked them, are they really as good as they look? And every one of y'all said, yep. I just don't know. From what I've heard, from what I've watched on the telly, I just don't know. I don't know.
They just do too many things well.
Yes.
You got too many guys do too many things well. You got too many guys that can shoot threes and defend. You got too many guys that can rebound and defend. Like, I mean, you got the Lou Dorts and Alex Caruso's who just beat up and hold people, and Lou Dort's out there diving for ACLs and all that. You've got guys who just don't miss with SGA, Chet in the lane. Like, they got just too many guys that can just beat you, man. And I love this Pacers team. I root hard for them. I think that map is a bit skewed because I think when we talk about X factors here in a minute, we're going to talk about why I think there's going to be a large portion of the country actively rooting against the Thunder because of a couple of things in my X factor. But we can root all day, man. Like, you know, I don't know that it's going to happen. It's like rooting for a snowball to survive in a Memphis summer. Like, it's just, you can root for it all you want. It just ain't going to happen.
It just might not happen. That's good. Rooting for a snowball in Memphis summer. I love that. You know what? You know what about the same thing is an ounce of hope you might need. God, we're good at this. We're going to take a really quick break, show you some ounce of hope. And when we get back, we're going to talk about X factors, and we're going to break down the point guards in this matchup right after this break.
Looking for an alternative to alcohol or conventional medicine? Check out Ounce of Hope, a Memphis-based dispensary with 2 local stores in the Sanderland Center and on South Cooper Street. You can get all the products you need in a location convenient to you. Each store offers an intentional shopping experience with dedicated bud tenders to answer all of your questions, from product selection and mushroom blends to our personal favorite, the Delta 9 seltzers. You gotta try the Peach Buzz. Try Ounce of Hope at either one of their 2 Memphis stores or at www.ounceofhope.com for convenient products shipped right to your door. Use the promo code BluffCity for 15% off any order, excluding sale items. Cannot be used in conjunction with other promotions or discounts. One use per customer.
And we are back. And if you missed that URL website, it's below, www.ounceofhope.com. Check them out, guys. It's good. I don't know if your mouth can water from gummies and mushrooms, but every time I'm like salivating at that commercial. It's crazy.
Yeah, I made an order last night. I restocked my seltzer line. I went with Cherry Jane last night. Got me a 12-pack coming. Got Maggie's dog some CBD gummies to help with some anxiety and just nerves and things that happen. And then I also ordered me another bottle of this Rebound. Like, this Rebound is incredible. It's a great recovery blend. There's no THC. It's got CBD, curcumin, and it helps just with recovery, mental fog, overall just well-being. Cannot recommend these guys enough. Code Bluff City for 15% off your order at ouncehope.com.
Go check them out. They're great. Like we mentioned, this Pacers team may need more than an ounce of hope to beat this Thunders team. We're going to see. I do want to break down just certain things. We may break down other matchups as we get closer, but the first one I wanted to break down head-to-head, Hallie versus Shea. This has been a very interesting. I mean, Shea just won MVP. I would take Shea over Hallie any day of the week, but oh my God, I can't explain to you how much I love watching Halliburton more than Shea. It's such a weird head-to-head because it's like, well, yeah, one of them is probably better than the other. I don't think that's arguable, but God, there's one that I would prefer more than the other on my team. I don't know.
Yeah, as a fan of pure basketball, like Hallie is an ethical hooper, right? Like
Yes.
that stat line where he had 32, 15, and 12 with 0 turnovers, like that is legendary.
Give it to
And
me.
I'm gonna have a hard time betting against Tyrese Halliburton in these finals simply because like he's just got that clutch gene that helps him win games late and can be the guy that propels his team to victory if you let them hang around.
Yep.
SGA is just so good on both ends of the floor. Offensively, he's a mid-range assassin, can get to his spots, can get you tripped up to get those fouls, just attacks. And he's also a good defender on the other end. Now, is he Caruso or Lou Dort? No, but he is a pesky defender, an all NBA type or all NBA, all defensive team type defender. And he's just so good at so many things. I can't stand him because he's just a weird dude with his flopping and flailing and the faces he makes and the whistle he gets is absolutely diabolical.
Yep.
So from a hoops head standpoint, I can't stand him, but just from a unbiased head to head, I mean it's SGA every day. But I don't mind Hallie having the ball in his hands with 3 seconds to go and a chance to win.
Same. Edward, shout out. Thank you for joining us, brother. They're like two different engines in two different cars. It's a very, very good way to put it. You're going to like what you like. I really hope that this is not the case. I hope that SGA is not going to live at the foul line. I hope they let this series not live and die at the foul line, but I don't know. I don't know.
That's why their games are so hard to watch because it's just like stop, start. It's like a Brunson game, right? Like if nothing else, I'm grateful that the Pacers saved us from a Knicks Thunder finals where it would have been like first to 200 free throws wins. Like that's what it would have been.
Yeah, God, I've kind of blacked out that might have been what we were in for since Indiana won. That would suck.
As aggressive as the Thunder are and as much as the Knicks flop, it would have been ugly. It'd been ugly basketball.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much that can really, there's a lot that's going on in this series, apart from this head-to-head match between the point guards, like just what to look at from both rosters. I wanted to look, who do you think some of the X factors in this finals is going to be? You said you've already worked, you have a couple ideas. I think there's a lot. There's a lot that could go either direction on either one of these teams, which I found really interesting. What do you have first? I'm interested to see.
So my first one, I'm going to get my tongue-in-cheek one out of the way. I think the X factors of the NBA Finals are what we just talked about. Tony Brothers, Scott Foster, the referees. Luke, I got a stat for you. So of the teams that are remaining in the NBA playoffs, the Thunder and the Pacers, the most free throws made and attempted by players, right? So you got SGA's obviously first. He has attempted 147 free throws, making 126 of them in the playoffs, just the playoffs. Followed by, in second place, SGA in the first half, where he has attempted 79 and made 65. In third place, SGA in the second half. Shocker, 61 for 68. You have to get down to fourth before you get a Pacer. It's Benedict Mathurin, 57 of 62, followed by Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, and then a passel of Pacers. Say that 5 times fast. But SGA is in first, second, and third place from attempted playoffs or attempted free throws in the playoffs. So my first X factor is the guys with the whistle. Are they going to let them play? Are they going to let it just be like free-flowing basketball, which the NBA Finals should be? Or is this going to be a look-at-me fest with the refs and Oklahoma City flailing?
Oh, my God. I hope not. I just hope not.
They're my first X factor for a reason, Luke, because like they've influenced so many games for this Thunder team in these very playoffs. And it's unethical. It's not fun to watch. I get it's a skill. And it's part of the NBA. Shout out James Harden for ruining that for me. Much like Rascal Flatts ruined country music for me, but that's a whole nother conversation. I just hope that I'm wrong, but I think the first X factor is going to be the referees.
Man, yeah, I think you're right. I do think the guys that I think that we know that the guys that you leave open on Oklahoma City Thunder, we know they're going to knock down their shots. We know that Caruso can do it. We know that Wiggins can do it. We know that Kason Wallace can do it. We know that all the Isaiah Joe.
Yeah.
I think the X factor, it's going to be the TJ McConnells, the Mathurins, the same dudes for the Pacers because they're there, but I just don't know if I rely on them. Obi Toppins, I'm going to say the bench units of both these squads are going to be X factors because we know what the starters can do. It's going to be about which one of these bench guys make their shots. I hope that's what it comes down to. I hope it's going to be like Obi Toppin makes his shots over Isaiah Joe. I think if those guys can make their shots, if TJ McConnell can play well,
Sure.
If the Pacers bench guys, those are going to be I think that they have to have a good series for this to go over. Shelby agrees. For this to go over 5 games, I think they have to have a good series.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Agree with Edward too. No, my life isn't a highway that I'm gonna ride all night long. I anti. If you know me, I am anti Rascal Flats almost as much as I am anti Chris Paul. But anyway, another show. My next X factor is going to be Pascal Siakam. He was unbelievable in the Eastern Conference Finals. Obviously, he won the conference finals, though Hallie thought he had it in the bag as he was prancing up to the stage, and they were like, Pascal Siakam. It was great TV. But Siakam was able to get to his spots, hit some big threes with those high arcing threes that he shoots. I think he could give Chet Holmgren some problems. I think he's bully enough and aggressive enough that he can run through Chet's chest. He's athletic enough in the open court that I think he can be kind of a problem for the Oklahoma City defense just because he's so big and can shoot. If the Pacers are going to have a chance, like Hallie is going to be kind of the guy, but that's who Oklahoma City is going to tee in on, right? With Lou Dort and some of these bigger defenders, because Hallie is kind of a skinny guy. And so you can get a big defender like Lou Dort on him and give him some problems. So Pascal Siakam is going to have to carry that momentum from the Eastern Conference Finals into the finals if the Pacers are going to have any chance.
And you got to remember, man, he actually has a ring already. So he of this Pacers team, he has got that championship pedigree. Is he going to play like it? Another guy that I think it's funny. I think there's a lot of Pacers that are X factors that have to play.
That's kind of what I came up with. Yeah.
Yep. I think Miles Turner is an X factor, and primarily it's because Wayno put it up here. Can he break through the Caruso wall? Because Caruso has been playing up literally to the bigger guys, and he's just hacking the shit out of them. Pardon my language.
I was about to say he is, man.
He's just hacking. And is Miles Turner, who has been in trade rumors since he arrived in Indiana, and is about to be restricted free agent, I don't know if he's restricted. He's about to be free agent. Is he going to be able to tell Caruso to stop it, grab him by his little bald head and go, no, and ball out? I think it's going to be important.
Yeah, I agree. That's going to be tough because Caruso, going back to my statement earlier, like the Thunder get away with being physical, and Caruso is probably the number one guy that gets away with being physical because he holds, he grabs, he does everything he can until the refs call it. And I don't blame him. Like I'm a fan of physical basketball, and that's what he does. Go watch the film of their games and see how much he holds Jaren and holds Jokic and holds these dudes, right? But I agree. I think Miles Turner has to find a way to break through that Caruso wall if they're going to be able to do anything here. And I did want to have one Thunder. I've kind of already talked about some Thunder players with the refs, right? Because those count as Oklahoma City Thunder players based on the free throw disparity. But the Pacers lack a true bully big man, right? Because they've got Miles Turner, Siakam are more kind of finesse big. You got Obi Toppin, right? Who's kind of a bigger athletic guy, but he's not a bully. And I think if the Thunder can control the paint and the boards with Isaiah Hartenstein, I think they can they'll dominate this because he's big, he's strong, he's great at finding a body and putting a hip on it and blocking out, impacting or getting rebounds, those tap outs. I just don't know that the Thunder or the Pacers have somebody with enough lead in their pencil to go against Isaiah Hartenstein.
Enough lead in their pencil. I've never heard that.
You're welcome.
Dude, you picked, you know what? We're not going to talk about any more X factors because I don't want to talk about any more Thunder. You picked the one Thunder that I'm like, you know what? One, I really like him a lot. I
wanted him to be a Grizz. We wanted him to be a Grizz.
We've been writing pieces on it for years about trying to get him on this team.
Yes.
He was their big free agent acquisition. He was it. And you get those guys, you go and you get those guys to be X factors in the playoffs. They traded for Alex Caruso. We just briefly talked about him, and then they got Isaiah Hartenstein. It's like those guys, the moves, you had your team, you went and you made your moves. Are these guys going to actually rise to the challenge?
We talked about the Pacers and the Thunder being the mold for the Grizzlies to follow on the 2 Buck Sports Show last week. Kenny and I did. I think Sam Presti is the model that Zach Kline and these other GMs need to follow because he has done a masterclass since the franchise was in Seattle, and what he's been able to turn Rashad Lewis into now has been so impressive. He's done such a good job of finding those pieces that complement, Shea and good Jalen Williams really, really well through the draft and free agent acquisitions and trades and that sort of stuff. So again, I hate the Thunder, but I applaud Sam Presti the job he's done building this team. He has built an absolute juggernaut that can beat you from, the first guy SGA to the last guy off their bench.
Yep. Yeah. Before I do want to give one more person. Well, I do want to mention one more thing. We talked about the front office. Do you think, Wayno, I saw it in the comments a while back. I'm not gonna be able to find it. Does Dagnall have it in him too? Because I think Rick Carlisle is there. It is. Thank you. Carlisle's the better coach in my mind.
Clear.
I think that's clear. Will Dagnall be able to rise to the occasion? It's like, we know Sam Presti's the blueprint. We know that that's what every team should be following. If you're a small market, follow what he's doing.
Yeah.
Coaching's a different story. Dagnall came up through their feeder system. He was with the OKC Blue, but this is going to be a big moment for him. He's got the team. Like he's got no excuses for the guys on the court, but will he be able to coach the guys on the court to a victory? We'll see.
Yeah, agreed. Dagnall is a great, great coach. I saw him in person a couple times this year, and he coaches his ass off from first to last whistle. I mean, he's involved, he's engaged. Even when they were blowing us out at the last game that I was at in game 4, when they were starting to pull away, and all I watched was Isolo just standing there with his arms folded. Dagnall was coaching until the final whistle. But Carlisle has been there. Carlisle has that experience. He has won in Dallas. He's winning in Indiana. Like, the guy's just a winner. And as much as players win games, coaches lose you games, and Carlisle's not going to do things to get himself beat. He did it was a master class of stopping Knicks runs in the Eastern Conference Finals through timeouts, timely substitutions, making the right adjustments and plays. And it just felt like every time they called a timeout, it came out with a quick bucket for Siakam or Halley or something to get the momentum back. And I was really impressed with the job that he did. Like, if there is one major advantage for the Pacers, to me, it is absolutely Rick Carlisle and what he can draw up for this Thunder team.
It's good that you want to talk about a dude that has a feel for the game. That dude knows the game of basketball like the back of his hand. It's quite impressive to watch him play. And
agreed.
I've always liked Rick Carlisle, but going through the fact that he's gotten this pace, we might have a Rick Carlisle episode. The fact that he got this Pacers team to the finals, and you look at this Pacers team compared to that Dallas team, how different. I just think that's incredibly impressive.
Yeah, for sure. Taking a small market like this is way different than a Dallas team.
Yes.
So, really impressed by Rick Carlisle and what he does.
Yep. And we have Tomas.
No.
Sorry.
Wonderful.
Sorry. That was unnecessary. Before we get out of here, it's time to tube. On Tuesdays around here, if this is your first time joining us, welcome. If it's not, you know what we do on Tuesdays. We talk about what we're watching on television, whether it be TV, whether it be movies. There's a lot out there in the media network, and everybody has a damn television. TV's on. I'm happy to go first. I'm not watching anything new. We love the Harry Potter movies on here. There are happy spots. I have seen them better of 2 million times, I would say. So I didn't watch them, but me and Kyla, we were like, what do we want to watch? Something happy. We want to watch a feel-good movie. I love the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them movies. I don't know if you've watched them.
Not yet.
2. The second one is whatever. I don't know what they were doing. The first one, man, we rewatched it last night. It is so good. It's before they kind of say what you want. Maybe it shouldn't have been it's based on a book that is that tiny. That's a manual. Maybe it should have been blown out into 3 or 4 or 5 movies, but that first one is just like a banger. It is just as good as any of the Harry Potter movies.
Bold.
Highly recommend at least the first one. You don't have to watch the second one or the third one. First one's good. Sidebar, did you see who they cast as the new Harry, Ron, and Hermione? The kids?
No.
for the HBO show. I'll send you pictures. They cast them. The Ron and Hermione are amazing. They look perfect. Hermione is like this little she's a little mixed girl, and she's got gorgeous curly hair and buck teeth. And apparently she played Matilda in the Matilda musical on Broadway, so she's good. Between you and me, I think the actor they got playing Harry looks like he's got soulless eyes. His eyes look like shark. He looks like Jaws, the shark.
Well, that works because in the first movie, Harry only blinked one eye at a time, right? So it makes sense.
God. Go on.
No,
I
I
forgot.
haven't.
I don't watch the first two because of that. I forgot.
No, I give like Maggie loves those movies, and we're going to watch them. They're queued up for us later this year. It's definitely something we want to watch. But I always give her a hard time. I'm like the Fantastic Beasts and how to season them, or the Fantastic Beasts and how to eat them, like those type things. But I had to promise that I would not murder any Fantastic Beasts. So there's that. So for me, I'm still watching House of Dragons. I understand what you're saying. Like they changed the actresses, and like the girl who's playing Allison, like whatever, that was fine. But like Rhaenyra is the one that bothers me because like she was so good, and this new girl's probably great. And I've only watched one episode where she's giving birth and all these kind of things, and she does great. She's fine, but it's just not the same as it was. And furthermore, Maggie and I talked about this. The timeline is all screwy, right? Because
I don't understand it.
Damien hasn't aged a bit.
He looks the same.
Rhaenyra's aged by like 20 years. Viserys is now like on his deathbed.
He's dying.
I mean, he looks awful. He has aged the worst out of anybody I've literally ever seen. And like it's just so weird how like some have aged a ton. Like Viserys, Damon hadn't aged a single second. And then we got brand new actresses playing. Anyway, like I understand like it gets screwy and it's just kind of weird, but it's still good. Like the drama and the storyline are still very good.
Which maybe that's how it was back in the feudal times. Maybe it's like
maybe
you looked young. No, but that doesn't explain the young characters. I was like, you looked good until you didn't, and then you just died.
Weird. Yeah, but it's weird. And the real quick movie recommendation on Netflix called Secret Obsession. It came out in like 2020. My dad and I watched it over the weekend. This girl gets hit by a car and she has amnesia. When she comes to, like her husband's there by her bedside and like caring for her, like doting over her and all this kind of stuff. But it starts to kind of get fishy pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And it's got the guy who plays Serrano on Major League as the lead detective. He also played in like The Unit and some of that kind of stuff. So I kept looking for Jobu to make an appearance. He never did. But Secret Obsession was a good, entertaining movie to watch.
Oh man, I don't want to spoil it for myself, but I'm imagining it's not her husband, is it? It's not her husband, and she doesn't remember. God! Oh my God, I love movies.
Honestly, it was good. It was like it's not the best movie ever. The acting's kind of cheesy, but it was a good story. It was an entertaining 2 hours.
They don't make the thriller, man. The thriller like that. They used to make a crap ton of them in the 90s. They don't make them anymore. They're great.
I know.
Where it's just like someone is not who they seem to be. And that's
we need to draft we need to do a thriller draft sometime because there's so many good suspenseful thriller movies. My first one comes to mind, Bone Collector with Denzel Washington, Angelina Jolie, phenomenal movie.
Man, Ashley Judd.
That's such a good movie. Like, like the 10 out of 10. What a great movie.
A lot of them are Denzel movies. Is Man on Fire a thriller? I love Man on Fire.
It is. Man on Fire is a thriller. It's good. Along Came a Spider with Morgan Freeman. Great thriller from the 90s. Like, I could do this all day, man.
Oh, man. We might do that tomorrow. We're going to be back tomorrow. That's it for our show today. We're drafting stuff, and we're not even drafting today. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Wayno, Edward, King Meeks, Jalen. If I forgot somebody, I'm sorry, but thank you guys for hanging out. If you weren't hanging out over there, what are you doing? Come hang out with us on the YouTubes. Like and subscribe. Go check out ounceofhope.com. Too many W's. www.ounceofhope.com. Promo code Bluff City. Get you 15% off everything. Go check them out. We will be back tomorrow. And if we can leave you with anything today, y'all, like we always do, remember these two things. Remember to be a little weird and remember to smile. Bye, guys. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.